Yeah.
So once everybody's ready. Get those gloves on.
Yeah.
You good?
Good.
Okay, you
Wind
guys
is
good?
nasty.
Okay, first and foremost, tell us first and last name, official title, and spell it out, please.
Ryan Propson, Ryan Propson, Conservation Warden Lieutenant for the Lake Winnebago team.
Okay.
Sorry, before you start,
Yes.
just check my. I am not giving.
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Get levels.
Okay.
Perfect.
I can do that again. You can still hear me?
One more time. Yes.
Yeah. Good morning. Ryan Propson, Ryan Propson, Conservation Warden Lieutenant for the Lake Winnebago team.
Awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about why we're out here today. It sounds like we've had a dangerous season when it comes to being on the ice.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, and I just want to take this opportunity to really talk about the safety components of that. This year alone, we've had 6 recreational vehicle fatalities just in 2025. 4 of those have been people drowning, going through the ice. And with obviously Lake Winnebago, Green Bay in the area, we've had very favorable weather conditions this year, much different than last year. People are taking advantage of it. They're out having fun on the ice. But we also don't have snow this year. And I think what we're seeing is people becoming too comfortable on the ice. They're driving way too fast. We've had incidents of people sliding right into the cracks. They've tried to stop, but they're going too fast. We don't have snow on the ice, so you don't have those areas where there's a crack, there's yellow snow. It's obvious it's there. People need to slow down. They need to treat the ice with the respect that it deserves while they're out having fun. And this year we're seeing so many changes in the weather with temperature up, temperature down, and every time that happens, look what happened yesterday. We had a lot of wind. That moves that ice. It's just like ice cubes, right? It floats around, cracks open back up, they close. We have very wide open areas on the lake right now, areas of open water that you wouldn't think would be here because this ice just keeps shifting. So really remember that when you're out there having fun, we still got to be safe. Slow down, have a plan, have some equipment with you. You're on ice. Have a small life jacket underneath your vest. Have ice picks in that vehicle with you. And again, with UTVs especially, remember that they're not the light little ATVs that a lot of us grew up with. They are heavy machines. They can be upwards of 3,000 on a little light vehicle. You're driving around in essentially a car or a small truck. And you can't take that on areas where you can drive an ATV. So just make sure that when you're out there, you're having fun, but staying safe.
How do people check, and I mean, I'm sure people in the area know, I'm kind of new to the area, and this is a new concept to me, but how do people check to make sure that the ice conditions on the lake are safe before they even go out? Is there a way to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have really awesome partners at our fishing clubs, conservation clubs around the lake. They do a really great job volunteering their time to open up accesses to the lake. They put out bridges over those cracks. Check in, talk to those local clubs. We're at Grunman Launch right now. Paynes Point is just down the road. There's many other clubs around the lake. They know. They're out there every day. And it's going to be really important tomorrow. We're getting a snowstorm tomorrow. I'm concerned about what this lake is going to look like with a snowstorm. And once people are driving around, you got to follow the path of other vehicles. Those clubs do a good job marking the roads with tree lines. Stay close to this isn't the year to just drive around the lake and check out new areas. And if you're unsure, talk to someone at the club. They're going to know best.
One thing that you did mention was talking about having a plan in case if anything happens. For those that may not know,
right?
What kind of plan would you recommend?
Right. With driving on the ice, first off, slow, right? Take it slow. This is not the place to really be worrying about having your windows rolled up. Drive 10 miles an hour with your seatbelt off so that if something would happen, you can get out of that vehicle. Have that window cracked so you can get out of that vehicle. Carry a punch with you if you're in vehicles. You can punch that window out if something would happen. And again, have a plan in terms of how am I going to get out of the vehicle? Where are my ice picks? You carry it in your pocket here. Is it here? Know where that is. Practice pulling them out. Actually wear them under your jacket so that you have them if you need them. But just actually think through a scenario. If I would go through the ice and I panic, what's going to happen?
The deaths that you guys have seen, I don't know how much you can speak to them, but you said 4 of them were drowning?
Yeah, 4 of them have been wrecked, yes.
So do you think that's because people didn't have their windows cracked and they got trapped in their car, maybe they had their seatbelt on, or they didn't have ice picks to help them get out of the water? Is there any indication that we know how exactly these drownings occurred? Yeah,
I do think all of those things you just mentioned have been a component. And again, I think speed has been an issue. We've seen some of them, if you've seen the photos, they've been on the news where a truck has slid into the crack, right? People are driving fast. They're driving too fast on this ice because you can actually go this year. Normally there's hard packed snow and you can't just go. I think what we're seeing is driving too fast and people are unable to avoid that threat, not the threat, but the risk in front of them, which is a crack or open water. And we're seeing people just go and then, in some cases, we believe they've slid right into them.
What's the danger with, what are they called, ice shuts? What is it?
Yeah, so just out here, obviously you can look and you can see that pressure ridge where the ice expands. It's got to give somewhere. Well, what happens is with a wind like today, you start getting ice work underneath and ice work above. That's not strong ice right there. Additionally, water is now getting into that ice and it makes it weaker. So it looks like it might be all good to go, but you have a big area of very weak ice that's all broken apart with water, and so it can be actually have more just kind of break off because it's a weak area and it's just going to break off. Again, don't cross these cracks on your own. This is a good year to make sure you are going on the lake and leaving the lake in the same access point. Don't try and go from here and go 5 miles that way. Follow where the clubs have put out bridges. They do a really good job checking the thickness of the ice. They aren't going to put bridges out if they don't feel comfortable. They don't want to put people in an unsafe situation. This is not the year to just start driving around all over on the lake.
So 6 deaths, do you know how many rescues there have been besides those?
I don't know.
Okay. What are we leaving out? Is there anything that we haven't asked about that you think is important to add or mention, especially with sturgeon spearing coming up?
Yeah, one obviously good reminder with sturgeon spearing season is it opens tomorrow, right? People are putting their shacks out today. The biggest issue from a law enforcement side that we really run into is people not having their tags with them. So just a quick reminder, sturgeon spearing, that is one of our species that you still have to have a paper tag with you. You can't just run off of your phone like you can for a lot of other things. You need to have a paper tag. Probably the biggest issue that we see.
All right.
With some of the rescues that you guys have been taking care of, have you guys noticed any weak spots throughout the lake or in different areas that people should be aware of or should know of, or do things look pretty good so far?
So the DNR does not put out any information about the thickness of the ice, that type of information. And in this area, the rescues are really done by a lot of our fire departments. The closest one is going to be Neenah Menasha Fire Rescue. They actually just got a new air for this. What I would say is take the time to go on Facebook and look at about 10 different fishing clubs that are around the lakes here. They have been putting up drones. They have photos posted. They have GPS coordinates of these areas of open water. They have GPS coordinates put of where these cracks are with maps. They are going to be your best resource to look for those areas to avoid.
I know the last big one that I had was you mentioned about how the weather is just changing so much, and it's just changing how the ice is out there, whether we're getting strong winds and that's shifting things around, or we're getting warmer warmer periods at times. Let's say that comes to not optimal weather, or maybe it is the best weather, whatever it could be. What would you recommend for people before they head out the door, just to make sure that they're ready and they know what's coming ahead?
Yeah, I would say before you head out the door, number one, take a look at the Facebook pages for these clubs. Make sure you know where there are good areas and where there are not so good areas of on the lake. And then number two, like I said, have that plan. Have that equipment with you to be safe. have your life jacket along with you. Have ice picks actually like strung up down your arms underneath your jacket. In the event something would happen, you're ready to go to help get yourself out. Give thought to how many clothes you're wearing, and if that's stuff that's really going to suck up a lot of water in, again, the event you would go in. When you're out on the ice, go slow. Make sure that you are going slow enough that you can actually see something coming up and have the time to stop. Don't just drive around. Stick to areas that others are going. Go in and out from the same location. And again, make sure that you're thinking about, probably don't need a seatbelt on the lake when you're driving around at 10 miles an hour, right? Crack those windows and so that you know that if something happens, I can get out.
Anything else?
Pretty good.
I think we got it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Really appreciate it.
Hope you all left your vehicles running.
Yes, I
He
did.
left ours running. Thank you.